It's not often that we get to have television shows, particularly children's shows, that get to celebrate an anniversary such as their 20th year on television. And I'm very lucky to be joined by two of the hosts, one slightly younger than the other, but not by much. Not by much.
Go easy.
The very young Ranger Stacey.
Thank
Stacey
you.
Thomson,
Nice to see you.
And Adam Cox. Hello.
G'day.
Hi.
Guys, thank you for speaking with me here on MolksTVTalk. Now, guys, 20 years. Stacey, you've seen all of them.
I've seen a lot. 20 years is a long time, and it feels like it's just gone like that in some ways.
Yes.
But then when you actually think about it, a lot has happened in that 20 years. You know, the places we've been, the experiences we've had, the travel involved, you know, the people that have come and gone, the people that are still here.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's been an amazing ride, and we're very proud actually that Totally Wild has gone for that long, because a lot of shows have that longevity.
What do you think is its appeal?
I think it just appeals to everyone. You know, it's a kids' show. We have a target audience, but it's
everybody watches.
Everyone knows
That's the thing. Whenever we're out, you get people from all different age ranges saying how they watch the show.
Yeah,
and
that's
actually,
true.
funnily enough, I had someone who called up the other day who was 87 or 86, something like that. And
People
she just
in that age bracket love it.
Yeah. She spoke to me for 20 minutes on the phone about a bad episode because she learned a little bit about flying foxes.
That's the thing, because
It's really cool.
everyone can learn something, I think,
Yeah.
and it's not a lesson. You know, it's not it's educational, but we're not kind of preaching or anything. It's just general information. But I think some of our biggest fans are the older audience. They absolutely love it, and it does help that The Bold and the Beautiful, you know, goes. It leads into it.
Totally Wild has been doing its bit for some time now. With 4 o'clock weekdays, we can tune in.
Yes.
A bit of The Bold and the Beautiful, straight into 10 News. I mean, all of the ratings that in Queensland Bill and Georgie have to thank for, I would think come straight out of Totally Wild.
Yeah, sure. That's what everyone
we
says.
take the credit. We really do. No, but it is a great show. You know, if it wasn't good, it would not have lasted this long. You know, it's got everything. It's just got action packed. Not all the time. You know, they're the gentler stories. You know, the animal stories. There's action. You know, there's a range of different presenters. The more mature presenters like myself, but still with a fun-loving attitude. And I will give anything a go. Yesterday, for instance, I was actually playing Oz Tag, and I scored a try, dived over the line. I even got grass stains to prove it.
What I really love about it is you get to go to so many different places, but it also just gives a snapshot to so many different Australians who are doing amazing things, whether it's scientists working at all the universities that we go to, all the researchers, little kids that are doing great things. Like, didn't we do Tomic when he was a little fella? And
we did, yeah.
Now he's a professional tennis player.
Quite a few champions. You know, I've done a squash player, Tamika Saxby. We actually visited her when she was probably about 6 years ago, so not like a long time ago, but she was only maybe 12 or something. Now she's 18 and she plays internationally. So we follow things through, and we can go and revisit things. You know, and it's the little people that might not be well recognised or not have a great profile, but are doing something in their home. You know, looking after little orphaned animals or something.
It's a nice niche.
Making a difference.
You know, they might not get to news, but Totally Wild will do them most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Adam, what kind of brief were you given when you first joined the program? What was it now, 12, 18 months ago?
Longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been on the show for a while.
Feels like forever.
A little while now.
An old hand.
A couple of years. Kind of brief. What do you mean?
Well, as far as when it came to, I'd come and be on the show, and you may have seen it growing up.
Yeah.
When it comes to finding stories or delivering it, it's not just it needs to be environmentally conscious. As you mentioned, it can be about people involved in sporting endeavours, people doing other things. It really is a broad kind of opportunity.
It is now. Well, initially it started off primarily wildlife, I believe.
It was pretty much wildlife. We didn't do the sports stories or too much adventure. It was pretty much native animals, the environment, different issues that are affecting people. You know, at that time there was the ozone layer. It was the big news. You know, a lot of recycling stories, that sort of stuff. So we have, evolved to do a lot more, because I guess we've had to change and move with the times, and it just keeps it active and lively and fresh. Yeah.
So we'll do all kinds of things now. So
it's good TV buzz when it keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
You guys are great talent.
We love you.
That's right. In that regard, I guess the fact that it has evolved and it has changed, it opens up that Totally Wild then can cover, like you said, Adam, some of those stories that might get, they're tucked away after the weather on the news or those sorts of things, but you can bring a little bit more meat to those bones. So that a young Bernard Tomic, who might just be an 8-year-old kid aspiring to be a tennis professional, we can talk about not only him, but you know, if kids are interested, they want to play tennis a little bit more seriously, these are the kinds of things you have to be involved with. So it does allow you to take that and put some bigger framework around it, and that opens it up for the kids, doesn't it?
We often go down that track, actually. We might focus on someone who has made it big in sport or, you know, in science or whatever, but there's always that, you know, like, so for the kids at home, you know, what little tips you could, or inspirations, like an inspiration maybe at the end of the story about, you know, if there's someone watching at home that might want to pursue this sort of thing, how do they go about it, you know? So it might actually just spark something in their imagination, or, you know, give them that little bit of extra oomph to go that extra mile.
Yeah. And then on the other side, we also do a lot of the professionals that have already done the great things, like Jane Goodall and obviously who's a primatologist, and then
and Ian Fraser. We've done stuff with, you know, even the medical side of things with Professor Ian Fraser, who obviously you know, developed the vaccine for cervical cancer. You know, even that sort of thing, because you know, he's obviously made huge inroads into, you know, prevention and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, people like that, and of course great, you know, wildlife people like Jane Goodall.
And we had Steve Irwin on the show back in the day.
Yeah, lots. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't hurt that, let's be fair, you know, the Irwins live, relatively speaking, just up the road, near Biwa, apparently. But in that, you know, there's that great opportunity to connect with those kind of people who are indeed absolute, you know, protectors of wildlife and keen, and that's still a very big edge and part of the program, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and it's been wonderful over the years too, because we have had that very long, that history with Totally Wild, that we've, you know, speaking of Steve Irwin, we did stuff with Steve before he even became an international superstar. You know, just when Bob Irwin was the Biwa Reptile Park, and Steve was just this young, you know, I was young then too, but he was just this young guy handling snakes and crocodiles and stuff, and his mate Wes Mannion, you know, so, and then we've, you know, and it's been great because they've been good supporters of us too over the years as well. You know, Steve's always loved to be on Totally Wild when he could. And he always busy.
He always made it exciting for us too. I think at one point one of our senior cameramen told the story of how he brought out a fear snake, otherwise known as the inland taipan, but it's essentially the most venomous snake in the world. And he let the snake
I was there for that, actually.
In between
his legs.
Our cameraman's legs. He was crouching on the ground.
Yeah, he was getting the shots and everything. And I remember Steve said, "Now, you know, just all you need to do, I'm going to get this snake out. Just stand still. You know, don't sort of panic or anything. It'll come." But it didn't. You know, we weren't expecting it to come that close. But I remember Shane, our cameraman, was frozen. But it did. He got the best shots. And it just slid through his legs.
Did he say what to do? Just don't move.
He just said, "Don't move."
Yeah.
That's a given, I think.
Yeah.
The most venomous snake in Australia is coming at you. Don't move.
Yeah. You know, we can give little tips, like not that they're going to come face to face with an inland taipan or a fear snake, but it's, you know, little things like that. It's educational about what to do if you do, you know, if you find something dead on the road, you know, maybe have a box with, you know, some towels and things, and if you do find something in the pouch, put the whole animal in there. You know, you don't try and take it off the teat because you'll do some damage, but even if the mum's dead, you could save the baby. Little things like that, and with obviously safety, snakes, leave them alone. Don't try and kill them. That's the worst thing you can do.
I'm a big supporter of don't touch snakes.
Yeah.
Massive. So 20 years, a long time on television. Stacey, was it an accident? How did you get to be involved? Because you had a whole other career. As a legitimate National Parks and Wildlife Ranger.
Yeah, I finished school and I went to college to become a National Parks and Wildlife Ranger. Was employed by Queensland National Parks and Wildlife Service. I worked out in various national parks. Just doing my thing, you know, making new tracks and, you know, fighting fires and doing visitor management, you know, all the things that most rangers would do. But I did have a bit of a bent where I like to actually talk to the people, you know. So a lot of the other rangers with the big beards, this stereotypical, you know, they were a bit shy. They like to be behind the scenes, whereas I would always put my hand up to take an early morning bird walk or a spotlight walk. And at that time in the 80s, like even in the early, probably 84, you know, going into the 80s, there was a lot of interest in the environment. It was becoming kind of a thing to talk about, and a bit of action needed to happen. And at that time I was working out on St Helena Island, and Channel 7 actually were looking for a ranger to be part of their show Wombat, which was another, not as long as Totally Wild. That went for 7 years, and I thought that was a long time. But
I grew up with Wombat.
That's
but I
was in the right place at the right time, I think, and because I was, you know, kind of young and bubbly, and I think they just said, "Oh, well, would you like to do a few little spots on TV?" And from there it just grew and grew. But if I had have pursued a television career, I probably would have never done it, never made it, because I know how many people really want to be on TV, and I never actually wanted to be on TV, but you know, once I had a taste, such a good, fun thing to do.
I think my first memory of you on TV was with Agro, bringing animals onto that show and having to deal with the guy called Jamie Dunn every now and again.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, you'd remember Agro too. He's a legend.
Some of my fondest memories are watching, kids' breakfast TV, particularly on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Okay, back in the day when there weren't cartoons except Saturdays, and seeing that kind of those kind of hijinks and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's real sort of slapstick stuff, And even though when we shot Agro, it wasn't actually live, we'd record it, so we'd do a whole 5 shows.
The fourth wall has fallen down. Yes.
But we treat it as if it was live. Like the camera wouldn't stop rolling. There'd be no reason for us to stop. And the best thing was if something did go wrong, like someone would be sacked if you'd stop rolling. So we just keep on rolling, and the craziest things would happen, especially with animals, working with kids and animals. I'd lose. Actually, cane toads. I know you don't mind holding cane toads, but I bring cane toads on to talk about the problem of introducing things, into our environment. But I always had to wear big gardening gloves because I just don't like the feel of them. And inevitably they would jump out, and I'd be chasing it around the studio floor, and we'd have a studio audience, and everyone would be in fits of laughter. And one other time I'd lost a centipede. I had a centipede in a little tray, and for some. It wasn't there, and I'm looking through, and we must have gone for nearly 10 minutes, and I'm saying, okay, maybe we should go to a commercial break, and Agro goes, no, keep going, and I don't know where it went, but it wasn't there.
Wow.
Never found it again.
Really?
And then I had to take it back to take the box back to the museum and say to the entomologist, I don't know where it went. I just can't explain it.
It wasn't an exotic species worth millions.
No, thank goodness, no. It was
One of
just
the
a common one.
invisible centipede species. It could be said. So, how did it work for you then, Adam? I mean, obviously you had the Ranger career first, and then you moved into television. What happened for you?
Well, for me,
I'm kidding.
I wasn't a ranger.
You did work around animals, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked at Australia Zoo for about 3 to 4 years. Before that. I also did a bit of acting in theatre, so I had somewhat of a background in performing and also in animals. And I always loved animals ever since I was a little boy. So I thought TV presenting looked fun because I did presenting with a live audience, which was really fun. I thought, I've seen the presenters come up to Australia Zoo a couple of times.
Actually, I even worked with Adam a couple of times.
Yeah,
remember you were doing a skit there about you were a burglar or something?
Yes.
I don't know, and you jumped over the fence.
Something corny, but I was on the show before I got paid to be on the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, we get a lot of keepers showing interest in the show like that too.
But that's to be a totally wild presenter, you have to love animals. We've not saying we haven't had great presenters, but a couple of times we've way in the past had a couple of people that weren't were a little bit scared or a bit apprehensive. They wanted to be on TV more than wanting to be on a wildlife show, and it doesn't work because you need to love, like Adam and I and the other presenters we've got now. You need to have people who genuinely are into animals and the environment.
Well, it's more about communicating the message than it is about being on TV
because people couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Totally.
And it helps so much.
Totally wild.
With writing scripts and
just
film
to have
producing
some knowledge.
and all that. Yeah,
it comes
so
more
much
naturally because we all write our own scripts and stuff too. So it would take so much longer if you knew nothing or didn't have an interest.
It's a pretty small crew on the road for Totally Wild. There's only 3 of us. It's a presenter, there's a sound recordist, and there's a cameraman, and that's it most of the time. Every now and again we're lucky, we might get a field producer to come with.
But we work together as a pretty close team, and quite often also things do change from when you sit in the office writing something, and then when you actually get there it's totally different. So you obviously have to kind of work on your feet a little bit, and working as a nice close team, it always seems to be fun and it always works out. Mostly.
You'd hate to come to work and not be fun.
That's right. Oh, it'd be terrible.
Even the office is fun here, it's good.
It is, it's got a good feel to it.
Is it a pretty tight turnaround for you guys? Like when you go out to shoot a story, you obviously got to bring the footage back. I would expect that it's not like we're going to travel internationally, current affairs kind of show, and we have to edit it and send it back and so on and so forth. You get to come back and prepare it for the show, and how long before it would then standard hit the air?
Well, anywhere up to a few months, so it's certainly not a real quick turnaround. It depends if there's a certain reason. Say if we film something on a big day, World Environment Day, or for World Environment Day, we can usually try and get that pretty close to where we need it to be. But generally, there's a bit of a lead-in time.
Yeah, we get a little bit of breathing space, which is nice, especially for us because a lot of the time we're filming, then we have to come back and
we kind of get it ready for the editor, so we offline our stories and stuff. But also, it's our producer can have pretty much a bit of some shelves full of stories ready to go, and then they can pick and choose and get a nice blend of different stories to go within an episode. So it's a little bit of nice breathing space.
There's a lot of TV being filmed. What do we have? Like 4 crews, 2 in Brisbane, 1 in Adelaide,
and
one in Melbourne. And a crew will shoot generally 2 stories a day, each crew. So the story comes up to usually about 3.5 minutes. So it's a lot of television hours.
It's a lot of television to film.
Yeah.
2.5 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's not mucking around.
We're pumping it out. And that's why we have to, it's such a great team because we're generally pretty lucky with the weather, but lately we've had a bit of rain and stuff, so things have changed last minute, and we've gone out quite often with really no script at all. You just make something up on the day, and
that can be fun though.
Do the indoorsy, and sometimes they can work out better, can't they?
They can, yeah. If it all falls to pieces, just rock up somewhere and go, all right, let's make a story out of this.
Yeah, okay. What do you got? What can we do?
Yeah,
and and the good thing is, Totally Wild is so well respected within the community and within the different places. Like we've got our regular places we'll go, the RSPCA are great people, and some of the theme parks, so we can always call on them usually, and they'll just have us because I think we're pretty low maintenance actually.
Yeah, we always try to make it easy for people because we know we're going to be coming back soon most of the time.
Exactly.
So,
we don't want to burn our bridges, so and we've got a really good rapport with a lot of people we've worked with over the years, and it's good exposure for them, but it's also great for us that we can go and show what they're doing.
And being involved in a program like Totally Wild obviously builds your profile and gives you a great opportunity practicing presenting and story prep, writing, all of that stuff, even the offline stuff before preparing it for final production. Has it opened up many doors for either of you guys afterwards? I know you've been popping up a bit on 7pm, the project, doing some whips and stuff. How has that opened opportunities for you guys?
Well, I guess it has, but I'm still here. But I think it's because
the opportunities need to take you away.
No, the good thing is that over the years I have got to do a lot of different things because of Totally Wild. I mean, I spent a number of years had
I remember that.
a bit of a run, with Rove Live. I used to go down to Melbourne every few months, and organise some animals and take them onto the set because Rove's a big lover of animals as well. And even Chelsea Lately, which is obviously an American show, but when they were out filming in Australia a couple of years ago, they contacted me to see if I'd go on there. So it has been a great avenue, and I've done when Steve Irwin was alive, Animal Planet with him, and
that was live, wasn't it? You did a live thing?
Yeah, that was a whole week. That was called Crop Week Live.
That's
for
right.
Animal Planet. So that was amazing. We just every day, and I had a 5-week-old baby then too. So that was I was in a blur. I didn't know what I was doing. I had my mum up there.
Live television. What could go wrong?
Yeah, and I had my mum, so she'd be looking after the baby. In between, I had to go and feed her, and then back up on the stage again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Yeah, but just working up here at Channel 10 gives you lots of opportunities because we do a fair bit of production every now and again. So you and I, we've both done a few documentaries in-house that Channel 10 does. We've helped out on the cartoon show, Toasted TV, and that's kind of a lot more slapstick, pies and faces, whatnot. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
Might be extras on Scope, which is our science show, every now and again.
Yeah.
And every now and again we might help out the project and just a few other programs like the Circle.
And maybe do little crosses to the Circle or
stuff that's happening.
Hope maybe the Breakfast Show in the future. I don't think anyone's been on that yet, but that might
not
happen.
Yet.
Who knows? After they see this, we will be in big demand.
Absolutely. I'll put in a good word with Michelle, the executive producer.
Hey.
To me.
Okay.
Emma. So, with all of this experience that both of you have had in working on Totally Wild, there would have to be some highlights. As far as, personal things, and it doesn't have to be, I was hosting the blah, 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 but it just, I guess those things we just sit back and go, wow, I work in TV and I'm doing this. What would they be for you guys?
Well, for me, the big one for me really is getting to meet some fascinating and interesting people. Jane Goodall's one of my favourite conservationists. She lived in the wilds of Africa for 30 years studying chimpanzees, and I remember when I got to speak to her, there was all these news journalists around, but because she's quite passionate about kids, she took me aside and let me have a private interview, and everyone else had to do the big group one. So I thought that was really cool.
Very good.
And getting to speak to her about her work and her career was really fascinating. I'd love to do the same thing with David Attenborough.
Yeah, he's been on our show actually, but before your time, Ranger Tim actually got to interview him. But and I got to interview David Suzuki. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that's true. But I think also for me, some of the highlights over the years have been the sort of behind the scenes. Because we've been filming to bring it to our general audience, but in the meantime, we've got to go sort of behind the scenes to see vet procedures. We've seen these animals come through, obviously, but they're there spread out, under anaesthetic or whatever. But you see the inner workings of that sort of stuff, and or just going and feeding animals. Feeding a giraffe or scrubbing an elephant, giving it a hose.
I'm glad you said giraffe when you held your arm up there and not like a hippo.
Big hippo.
Or being close to a rhinoceros, just obviously through the bars and everything.
Yeah.
But swimming with dolphins.
Things that the public usually just wouldn't get the opportunity to do. So we're really fortunate to get to go behind the scenes. Playing with lions. Yeah, I got to give a Tasmanian devil something to eat the other day.
Yeah, and go to natural habitats where, say, the Tassie devils are, going to Tasmania and seeing their natural environments. Kakadu. It's the travel also over the years. We've got to go to some great places. Yeah,
I went to Japan last year, I think. That was pretty cool. Totally Wild's also been Africa to Borneo.
Thailand,
Fiji.
Antarctica.
Casually.
Yeah.
Just because we popped down there for the weekend.
New Zealand, a few times. Just that the opportunities to see different cultures, but also different animals and the people you meet along the way.
It's good fun.
So for people that are keen on animals, as we talked about, that's keen, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
People that are keen on animals that might have an interest in presenting or performing and may want to be the next generation in 10 years' time, give you guys a run, of Totally Wild presenters, how would you encourage them or recommend, what could they do to be preparing themselves or getting better to step up for that opportunity?
I guess just keep on doing, if they are interested, if they wanted to, working with animals, if they love animals, it could be just working with animals in that field, and if there's an opportunity to present, while you're doing presentations, while you're you've got a live audience there, whether it be at a zoo or a sanctuary or something like that. And I know we do get a lot of, I don't know if we've had any recently, but we do get a lot of CVs come in and show reels, and you never know, there could be a little space where you just in you go. One of us could fall off the perch.
And make it appropriate when you send your CV in, because sometimes we get CVs with people in bikinis and
we're not
kind of not really our demographic.
Not a bikini show.
No, not really.
No,
unless you're doing some kind of swimming story, right?
Yeah, but normally we have to be sun safe then anyway.
Hats and
do the right thing.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, but I think generally just any kind of experience helps. Whether they're trying their hand at community radio, or they're doing commercials, or getting an agent, or work experience at a zoo. Just any kind of experience helps get into the industry.
It does help in the end.
Yeah, and just having the right intention for wanting to do the job in the first place. If you come on work experience with us, it's it's nice to ask a lot of questions and get involved. But you can easily tell someone who just wants to be on TV, and I don't know. It's just you really do need a bit more.
I think you just need that genuine interest, in doing it for the right reasons, and not just being too prissy. Because you've got to get in there and experience stuff.
You really do.
Yeah.
It's not about the money, is it?
No. Oh no, it's not about the money. No, it's about, it is. It's just it's a great job. It's such a positive thing to come to every day, because we do positive stories. It's not doom and gloom. It's giving hope and showing the good things that are happening out there. And it's just variety is the spice of life, and that's what Totally Wild's all about.
But it's not all good. We have a lot of animals defecate on us in their jobs.
Which would happen.
Yeah.
A hazard, you'd have to call it, of the job.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hazard. Yeah.
You've had frogs have a go at you like that, haven't you?
I've had a frog trying to eat my finger, actually.
Nice.
I got I try and get too close sometimes, but I love frogs. Frogs, as you see, I've got my frog earrings on. My favourite animals. But no, we've had lots of poos and wees, and we've had little bites here and there.
Yeah. Attacked by a wedge-tailed eagle, I was once.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's not a nip.
No, it was all bandaged up. Like it was actually an injured eagle, but for some reason just didn't like me.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Some animals do that though. They just don't like you.
They take a dislike. Well, I got bitten by a wombat once. This is in the very early years of Totally Wild. I actually, because we were doing a photo shoot. I think it was in the first year of Totally Wild, and one of the other presenters had the wombat. I had a parrot on my shoulder, just for the photo, and I think I gave the parrot back, and then I wanted to pat the wombat, and it must have liked the parrot, because it went for the shoulder, and it one of the most painful bites I've ever had. It was like a what do you call it? Like a blunt bite, not a sharp pointy one. It was like a dead arm.
They've got those big chisely teeth though.
Which
actually
keep
really
on
hurts.
growing. It does, and it sort of drew a bit of blood.
Did
nasty.
you bite it back? Or?
No, I couldn't bring myself.
You know what this is opening up? This is now the spin-off opportunity post the 20th anniversary episode that's coming shortly. Totally Wild when wombats attack.
Yeah.
And we just get all of the stuff when people got bitten.
Well, wombats can be very cantankerous animals, actually, and they've all got, well, like all animals, they've all got different personalities, and there can be some really kind of placid wombats, and some very nasty wombats that will chase you down.
That is one of the big challenges with our job, because we do a lot of kids and obviously a lot of animals, and you just can't tell animals what to do. And if you get there and you want to film wombats and it's sleeping in its burrow, and we only have about a 3.5 hour time frame, and what they can sleep for over probably 7
sleep
8
the whole
hours.
day.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
you think, okay, well maybe we can change the angle of the story to wombats sleeping or something.
Yeah, it doesn't make the best story usually,
but still, wombats, dads on the weekend. You know, there's some good links right there.
Hey, I like your thinking.
So, guys, all of this is for the fact that Totally Wild celebrating 20 years on Channel 10. A spectacular effort, nonetheless. What can we expect from the 20th anniversary episode?
Oh, that's been placed under very tight
secret wraps. We can't say.
Close security. I've got no idea. I know that they've been asking us, about things like you've asked us, highlights over the years, and have been going into the vaults and getting footage and stuff. But I haven't seen a scary. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I know it's very entertaining. They go back in time, pretty much right to the beginning, and just have a look at all the past people that have been on the show and just what it was like back then too. So if you used to watch it as a young fella,
there'd be early 90s hairstyles.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Yeah. The mullets might even be coming back on this episode.
It's very scary. It'll be exciting, but it could be scary.
Yeah.
All of the above. Well, Stacey, Adam, thank you guys so much for your time. We're looking forward to not only the anniversary episode, but another 20 years of Totally Wild on our televisions. It's impacted generations of kids and helped them understand a little bit more about the world around them in an accessible way, and I think that's been super important to the longevity of the program. Thank you guys for your efforts.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a wild ride.
Yes, it has. Thanks, Steve. Cheers.
And thank you for speaking with MolksTV Talk.